As your YWC champion, when I hear a good line, I don't mean to plagiarize, but I said in my SmackDown review, Dolph Ziggler having a very big impression on this channel, on my rants, on my reviews, on my outlook, on a certain someone. One fuckboy Balor. His name is Finn Balor. Fuckboy Balor. Cuckaroony. Cuckboy. Whatever you want to call him. The demon. You know, the Schmeeman, the Fleeman, the Demon, Sleeman. I already said demon. I messed up a little bit. But anyway, thing is, Dolph Ziggler cuts a promo. You know, it was a kind of a fail that he didn't reveal the big reveal on SmackDown. But he's been talking about, you know, gimmicks and what it takes to get over, even though barely anybody's over in WWE at the moment. But he talked about a guy that wears paint to cover up the fact that he is a charisma vacuum. And as I said in my SmackDown review, I mean, come on, guys, come on. As your YWC champ, let's talk a little bit about Fuckboy Balor and his career. Because it's been a little bit since I've done a video on old Fuckboy. I mention him quite a bit in my reviews. Every time he appears, I rant on him, I talk about him. And who knows? Maybe like with Cena and Roman Reigns, they'll end up growing on me, and I might end up saying good things about him in a couple of years. So for a while, you know, when Balor burst onto the scene, they wasted no time. Within his first month, he was already main eventing. They don't do that for Bobby Roode. How come he didn't have to? How come Balor didn't have to do all those squash matches that Bobby Roode's doing? Even though Balor doesn't look like a star, doesn't act like a star, he doesn't wrestle like a star either. So he showed up at SummerSlam as the Demon, a character that he doesn't always portray, but it's supposed to be, you know, when he calls upon it, you know, he becomes this super being. He's this guy that, like, you know, this is his alter ego that he calls on when he really needs help. So he did it at SummerSlam, but Seth Rollins does what he does best, and he injured, he injured Finn Balor just like he did to Sting a year prior. So, yeah, no biggie, right? So, anyway, we didn't see the Demon again. Balor came back, like April? Didn't see it in May, didn't see it in June, didn't see it in July. So finally August rolls around, and he used it against Bray Wyatt. Balor hadn't been doing anything special. He was going for intercontinental titles. It's almost like they wanted people to forget that he was a world champion or that he was in the main event scene way too soon. So they catapulted him right away. He got injured, and right away, like they put him right back to like where you would think he belongs. And he doesn't even belong on the main roster, but they put him, in the mid-card level. And he's just been wandering from one feud to the other, really, with no direction. This is a guy with no promo skills. The line starts behind me. I mean, after all, what are you going to do when you got promo skills like that? I mean, he has gone for the #1 contendership and all that business, but thank God he hasn't won. So he does the paint at SummerSlam. And I'm watching the match at SummerSlam, and I was calling for him. I did videos. I says, "Where the fucking paint? Where the fucking..." When I used to do that shtick. And the thing is, I noticed that when he wore the paint, it was just the same guy wearing paint. Good entrance and everything, but my God, we've seen it before. And now that we've seen it again, we realize that it's the same guy, he's the same finisher, wrestles the same fucking match, the same drop kick to the corner, the same fucking thing. It's the same thing. He still hops around like a 3-year-old, still does the same fucking shit. There's no fucking difference. So, charisma vacuum is a great way to describe this guy. Because, seriously, I mean, here's a guy that admitted in an interview that what he wants to do is just be himself. Well, I've got news for you. You're boring as yourself. You're even boring as a demon, but you're even more boring as yourself. So, I mean, you might as well be the demon. If you're going to be one thing that's boring, you should be the less boring thing. I mean, for fuck's sakes. I mean, this guy, he says, he likes his leather jacket. He likes to cool. I like my leather jacket. I mean, what is wrong with this guy? I mean, it's not even like they're forcing him not to be the demon. It's just the fact that he's actually just comfortable being himself. There's too many guys on this roster that are themselves. I'm sorry, but we already had a Daniel Bryan, and he was exceptional. But the sad thing is about the Daniel Bryans of the world that it gave birth to so many more. Soon we had Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. People didn't even have names anymore. Whatever happened to Stone Cold, Kane, The Undertaker, Mankind, The Rock? Just plain ass names. Finn Balor. The fuck is that shit? I mean, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I mean, you're happy wearing a leather jacket when you could be wearing some cool ass paint. The only problem is that it's not a cool-ass guy under that cool-ass paint. It's just a fucking ass, basically. A boring ass. A boring fucking fuckboy asshole. That's what you're getting here, So this is being a charisma vacuum. I mean, you look at this guy, it's like, can you honestly say that he looks like a world champion? Does he act like a world champion? I mean, my God. I mean... You want a guy in a leather jacket that had charisma, was cool, was Bret Hart. Now that guy didn't need fucking face paint. But this guy, he sort of does. And the thing is, he doesn't deserve to be here. He's not good. But people get behind him because he wrestled in Japan. And we all know how that old shtick goes, right? You've wrestled in Japan, then you really don't need any other credentials. That basically qualifies you for anything. I mean, it really is. It's like the affirmative action of the professional wrestling world at the moment. You wrestle in Japan, up, job, right? I mean, come on, people. Let's get fucking real here. I mean, that's not real credentials. That's fucking bullshit. You wrestled in another country. Congratulations. You wrestled the strong style. That makes you tough. That makes you great. No, that doesn't make you tough. That doesn't make you great. That doesn't really make you anything. All it means is you wrestle in Japan, and that Meltzer Magoo probably said some nice things about you in his fucking podcast or newsletter. Who really gives a fuck? But yes, charisma vacuum. Indeed. This has been your YWC champ. Signing out.